Good day. My name is Craig Brown, and I'm a part of the Canada Games performance team focusing on mental performance. Going to the Canada Games can leave you with a lot to think about, but here are some tips that may be helpful in navigating this experience. So, let's get ready, let's get set, let's go. What's your why? What drives you? When all is said and done, why do you play this sport? Why do you love it? At a time like this, it's important to hold on to that thing. You can put it or write it somewhere that will always remind you of your reason why. Because at a games experience like this, it can be so easy to get caught up in the results and get caught up in just the fullness of everything that's going on. But when you remember your reason why, that helps to settle you, and it helps you to lock back in to that thing that will drive you and motivate you to be your best self. Now, how can you grow in confidence? It's something that you can prepare to do. So, what are a few things that you can do in order to grow your confidence? Is it having discussions with your teammates, your coaches? Is it watching or thinking about some of the success you've had in the past? Whatever it is, lock onto that thing that helps you grow your confidence. Believe in you. Believe in yourself. Believe in your coaches. Believe in your preparation. Whether you've had ups or downs or in-betweens, you're ready. You are ready to be here. And it doesn't matter what other teams or other provinces think. There is greatness in you. Be the best version of yourself. You don't need to be anyone else. In some of the work we do, we remind others, based on the work of a Dr. Amishi Jha, to find your flashlight. So what does that mean? It means that sometimes at a games experience, or in general in sport or in life, you can get distracted, or your focus can shift in so many different directions. But at a time like this, finding your flashlight is that reminder to focus on that singular thing that is most important in the moment. When you shine a flashlight, it points in a single direction and a singular area. But when you turn on a floodlight, it lights up a whole space. Now in sport, depending on what's happening in your sport, depending on your activity, or depending on what you are focusing on in that moment or where you need to be, sometimes shining a floodlight on things gives you a broad experience or broad understanding of what's happening all around you. But sometimes what we're called to do in that moment, to just lock in, is to remember to turn your flashlight on and find that singular thing, that most important thing that you need to focus on. So where does your attention need to be right now? Find that thing that's most important and turn on your flashlight. Also, be kind to yourself. You're human. That is a strength and not a weakness. How you get up from falling or making a mistake matters more than falling or making the mistake. Don't worry about it. You've got this. And remember your toolkit. In a lot of sports psychology or mental performance work, there are some things that we tend to focus on or hold on to that help us to get where we need to get. So the first thing is to remember that there are tons of distractions in multi-sport games that can throw you off, and it's important for you to think about when that distraction comes, how am I going to respond to it? Will I let it throw me off, or will I be ready for it? It could be transportation. It could be food. It could be so many things. But what's important for you to do is to remember your ABCs. A stands for awareness. Be aware of what distracts you. It could be before your performance. It could be during your performance. But what is that thing that throws you off the most? And when you are able to identify it, you go to B, and that stands for breathing or finding your reset button. What helps you reset in the moment? It could be a breathing exercise. It could be a cue word or cue phrase. It could be music that helps to energize you or music that helps to calm you down. It could be something that you touch. It could be the snap of a finger. It could be connecting with your teammates or making eye contact with your coach. Find what works for you. Find that reset button that helps to lock you back in so that you can rest yourself in that moment. And then you can go to C. You choose where you want to shift or redirect your focus because you are in control of your own story. You are the one that determines what direction you want your attention and your focus to be in. So when those distractions come, remember, ABC. Be aware of what it is, find your reset button, and then choose to direct your focus where you want it to be. Now, even in identifying that, it's also good for you to remember, what is my best state? What's the mental state or the physical state or the performance state that I need to be in for me to be my best self? And it's good for you to understand this and to know what works for you. Because it doesn't matter what's happening in the event around you. There are all sorts of things that could be happening. But when you identify what's happening and you know what your performance state needs to be, you're able to do whatever it needs to be done to get back to that place. So, find your state. How are you right now? Are you somebody who needs to be neutral? You're not thinking about anything. You're just zoned out. Or do you need to be positive, where your mind and your thoughts need to be going towards things that are positive? You need to be thinking about the win. You need to be thinking about the fun that you're having. You need to be thinking about something that happened in the past that was really positive for you. Are you calm or energized? Do you need to be in a place where no one's talking with you? Do you need to be in a place where there's just complete silence? Or do you need that energy and that vibe? What combination of those things do you need? Are you a mix of any of those things? Where do you need to be? It's good to take a moment to identify. Do I need to be neutral, not thinking about anything, but I need that energy around me? If so, what helps you to get to that place? Or do I need to be neutral and calm, totally zen, zoned out, not thinking about anything, with complete peace and tranquility? Or do I need calmness, but directed towards that positive mental state? So I need a bit of calmness, but I also need that positive feeling. I need to be thinking about things that are good. Or do I need that energy, but I also need that energy with that hype that's just, oh, we're ready to win this, we're ready, I'm energized, I'm so pumped up. The important thing is to identify which of these you need to be for you to be your best self. And then when you do that, you can take a moment to find what works for you and what helps you to get to that place. And then you can lock in, do that thing, help to refocus, and even tell your coaches and teammates so that they can help you get there, so that you can be ready when you need it to be. Now, imagery is another thing that's good. And for that just entails you closing your eyes or keeping them open if that works for you. But you play the scenario in your mind over and over. You see yourself executing your skill or your sport. You play your match or you play your game way before you even set foot on the field of competition. But you play it over in your mind so that you can prepare yourself for when the real thing comes. And your brain is interesting. How your brain works, your brain actually lights up in the same way when it's being monitored. It lights up in the same way when you use imagery, as if you're actually going through the real thing. And for that, it's important for you to play the scenario over It's important for you to see how you're going to navigate it. It's important for you to incorporate as many of your senses as possible. It's important for you to add that thought. How does it smell? How does it feel? What is the surface like? What is the crowd like? Add those different things so that you can make the situation as real as possible. And if you want, you can add a little bit of a challenge. So I came up with the best strategy, or I focused on the skill that I've been trying to master. But then there's a bit of a challenge, and see yourself overcoming that challenge. Don't run away from it. When you ask yourself and figure out how you overcome it, when the time comes in the real field of play, you'll be ready for it. Breathing. There are many things that can be done with breathing, but the notion is when you focus on your breath, instead of focusing on the thing that distracts you or the thing that throws you off, breathing can either help to get you into that calm or energized state where you take back control of whatever is happening around you. And you can either find yourself in that Zen moment, that reset or recollected moment, or that amped up, ready to go moment, depending on what you need. So there are different types and different kinds, but it's about finding about what's going to be well for you or what's going to work well for you. So the first one, find a comfortable position. And if you can, imagine that your stomach is a balloon. You breathe in deeply through your nose and you push your stomach out and you hold for 2 seconds when you inhale and then slowly exhale through your mouth. Imagining that you are deflating your balloon as you are doing that, and you repeat it as necessary, and you continue to feel that calmness and focus on your breath. Or if you're in the midst of performing your sport and you don't have time to really stop, you can actually just take a quick deep breath in and out and repeat as necessary, but focus on that breath and focus on that calmness. Or if you can find a comfortable position again, you can close your eyes and you can slowly inhale through your nose for a count of 4. You can hold for a count of 2 and then exhale for a count of 6 and repeat as you feel necessary. That also helps you to focus on that calmness and focus on that breath. But if you find that you're a little bit too calm and you really need a burst of energy, you can actually take quick, sharp breaths in and out. And don't worry about it. Just focus on that quick, sharp breath in and out continuously until you feel re-energized, focusing on your breath and getting your heart pumping as you go. Now, there are a few more things that you can do and a few more tips that we want to share with you. If you want to focus on relaxing yourself in the moment because you feel that tension, you feel the soreness in your muscles and the tension happening because of everything that's going on around you, there is an exercise called progressive muscle relaxation. And for that, it's helpful to again find a comfortable position. And with that, you will start tightening and then relaxing certain muscles in an alternating progression for 2 seconds. And then you slowly relax and move to the next and do the same until you're done. So you will start with your right foot, you tense it and slowly relax it. And then you move to your left calf, you do the same, then your right thigh, then your left hip, then your stomach, then your chest, then your shoulders, then your neck, and then your face. You go from one to the other, slowly tightening and then relaxing it. And you find that the tension that you have stored up in your muscles, you will release that tension using this exercise. Goal setting. Now, I'm sure many persons would have had an idea of why they were coming to the games and what they would want to achieve at these games. But what goals did you set? Were they specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, aka SMART? Were you only focused on the outcome? I want to be first, I want to be second, I want to be third. Or Were you focused on the steps that towards getting to those goals? I want to place here, but I'm going to do that by getting to bed on time. I'm going to focus on this exercise. I'm going to focus on this skill, and I'm going to take it to this strategy, and we're going to achieve it step by step. Sometimes it helps to write out your goals, or even to step back and remember what drives you or what inspired you to set those goals. It's good for you to focus on the process and take it step by step and look towards the things that will help you get to that larger outcome and not just simply the outcome itself. Self-talk. What you say to yourself matters. Try to keep it positive and not negative. Try to use a word or a short phrase that means something to you. Try to say it out loud. But even if you aren't as comfortable doing so, say it quietly or in your head. What you say to yourself is more important than you know. You are not alone. Wherever you see the colors of the buffalo or the bison, just remember that the strength of the bison or the buffalo is demonstrated when the herd stands together in the toughest of circumstances. Remember, we're all in this together. So keep your focus. Keep your perspective. Everything that you're thinking through or going through, what is your goal for coming to the games? Don't get too caught up in the performance. Find some time to just take a breath, shift your attention, gain perspective. Think about it from a different lens. Enjoy the experience. This is a wonderful opportunity. Make the most of it. Make friends, do your best, but always remember, we are all in this together. Have a great Canada Games.